Ever had one of those moments where you're strutting down the street, right? And suddenly you forget how to walk. It's a peculiar thing, isn't it? One moment, you're the epitome of cool. The next, you're a walking conundrum. You're suddenly hyper-aware of every movement, every step, every swing of your arm. It's as if your legs have developed a mind of their own. They're on strike, refusing to cooperate with the rest of your body. You're left standing there, mid-stride, contemplating the complexity of a simple walk. And your arms, oh, your arms, they're in a world of their own. Do they swing in sync with your legs, or do they follow their own rhythm? You thought you knew, but now you're not so sure. You try to recall every walk you've ever taken. Did your arms swing like this before, or were they more relaxed? You're not sure anymore. What was once an unconscious act has now become a conscious effort. And then there's the sudden realization of how absurd the situation is. You're in the middle of a street, frozen in time, having a mental debate about the mechanics of walking. It's a funny thing, isn't it? How we can suddenly become so conscious of something we've been doing effortlessly since we were toddlers. It's like our brain decides to play a little prank on us, making us question our basic motor skills. But you know what's even funnier? The fact that we can't just shrug it off. We can't just laugh and move on. No, we have to solve this walking conundrum. We have to figure out the perfect arm swing and leg stride. And so, we stand there in the middle of the street looking like we're practicing some strange dance move. And all the while, we're hoping no one's watching. Because let's face it, we've all been there. We've all had our moments of walking weirdness. And there you are, in the middle of a sidewalk, having an existential crisis about walking. Now imagine this. You're parched. You reach for a glass of water and then picture yourself in the throes of an arid, dry-mouthed thirst. The kind that feels like you've been walking through the Sahara with not a single oasis in sight. You reach for a tall glass of water, the condensation on the outside promising sweet relief. You lift it to your lips, ready for that satisfying gulp of H2O, but then, in a moment that almost feels like it's in slow motion, something goes hilariously wrong. Your hand-eye coordination, usually so reliable, decides to take a vacation. Instead of the cool, refreshing liquid finding its way into your mouth, it misses the target entirely. Yes, you heard it right. You miss your own mouth. The water dribbles down your chin, onto your shirt, soaking you in a mini shower of your own making. There's a moment of stunned silence as the cool droplets make their way down your front. You can almost hear the collective gasp from the imaginary audience in your head. The embarrassment hits you like a tidal wave, your cheeks flushing a shade of red you didn't even know was possible. But what do? You're not one to admit defeat so easily. So you start to laugh it off, attempting to cover up your hydration fail. You wipe your chin, pat down your shirt, and try to convince yourself that no one saw. You might even muster an awkward chuckle, hoping to pass it off as a silly blunder rather than a full-blown coordination catastrophe. Yet despite your best efforts, you can't shake off the feeling that you've become a walking, talking comedy sketch. Your brain is in overdrive, trying to comprehend how you could possibly miss your own mouth. You're left standing there, still thirsty, now also wet and a little bit mortified. And you're left there, soaked and thirsty. Talk about a hydration fail. Have you ever tried to multitask and it just backfired horribly? Picture this. You're walking down the street, all casual-like, and you see someone you know. You flash them your best smile, the one that says, "Hey, look at me, I've got my life together." You're feeling good, confident, like you're the main character of your own movie. But then plot twist. Just as you're about to nod your head in a cool, nonchalant greeting, your foot catches on something. And suddenly, you're not just walking anymore. You're doing a weird, awkward dance with a door. Yes, a door. That solid, unmovable object that decided to play a starring role in your personal blooper reel. Now, you've got two choices. You can either try to play it off like you meant to do that, like you're some sort of avant-garde performance artist who uses public spaces as your stage. You could even throw in a little bow, a wave to your imaginary audience. But let's be real, no one's buying that, are they? Or you could go for option 2, admit defeat. You smile sheepishly, rub the spot where you collided with the door, and mumble something about not seeing it there. You make a mental note to get your eyes checked, even though you know full well it wasn't your vision that was the problem. It was your multitasking, or rather, your lack thereof. But hey, at least you've provided some comic relief for the day. You've become that funny story people will share later. Did you see that person who walked into the door? Yeah, they were trying to smile at me at the same time. Classic. So you're left there, your face all red, not from the impact, but from the sheer embarrassment. But don't worry, we've all been there. And remember, even in the face of a smiling collision, you're still the main character. So own it, laugh it off, and keep on walking. Now, let's talk about chairs and how they can be unexpectedly treacherous. Imagine this. You're going about your day feeling relatively coordinated. Your walk is steady, your smile is on point, and you feel like you've got this being a functional human thing down. But then you encounter the chair. You see, chairs are silent predators. They sit there, all innocuous and inviting, promising rest and respite. But they're crafty, these chairs, and they have a knack for moving just when you least expect it. So you approach, your mind preoccupied with the day's tasks, and you attempt to sit. It should be simple, right? But in that split second of descent, you misjudge the distance. You miss the chair slightly, resulting in an awkward half-sit, half-fall situation. Suddenly, gravity isn't your friend anymore. It's pulling you down, and the chair, that deceitful chair, isn't where it's supposed to be. There's a moment of panic, a scramble as you try to regain your composure. Your arms flail, your legs kick out, and for a heart-stopping moment, you're sure you're going down. But then, by some miracle, you manage to catch yourself. Maybe you grab the edge of the table, or perhaps you manage to get a foot under you just in time. Either way, you're back on your feet, heart pounding, cheeks flushed with embarrassment. And then comes the laughter. Maybe it's you chuckling at your own clumsiness. Or perhaps it's your friends, co-workers, or even strangers finding amusement in your chair-induced calamity. But you know what? That's okay. Because in that moment, you've become a bit more human, a bit more relatable. You've shown that you can laugh at yourself, and that's a valuable trait. So the next time you go to sit down, give your chair a wary glance. Know that it might try to trick you again, but also know that you'll handle it, just like you handled it before. And there you are, questioning your spatial awareness, all thanks to a chair. Ever found yourself in a situation where your brain just decides to go on a little vacation? Picture this. You've just had a series of minor mishaps, one right after the other. You've forgotten how to walk mid-step. You've tried to sip water and missed your mouth, smiled at someone, then walked straight into a door, and even sat down only to miss the chair slightly. It's like your brain has suddenly decided to retire, leaving you to fend for yourself. So, here you are, standing still as a statue, staring into the abyss. Your mind is still trying to process the series of unfortunate events that just unfolded. You're frozen not by choice, but by the sheer bewilderment of what just happened. It's almost as if your brain has hit the pause button while it takes a moment to reboot and reload the basic human functions you've suddenly forgotten. Your eyes are wide open, perhaps a little too open. You're hoping that if you don't blink, maybe, just maybe, no one will notice that you're stuck in a moment of pure, unadulterated confusion. Your heart is pounding and you can hear the blood rushing in your ears. You're hyper-aware of every little sound, every tiny movement around you, yet you're unable to react or respond. It's a strange sensation, isn't it? In your mind, you're screaming for your brain to get back on track. But externally, you're as still as a mannequin in a department store window. You're trying to play it cool, hoping that your frozen stance somehow comes across as you being deep in thought or lost in a daydream. As the seconds tick by, you realize that your brain isn't coming back from its impromptu holiday anytime soon. So you decide to wait it out, standing there like a monument to human clumsiness. You're hoping against hope that if you just stand still long enough, maybe everyone around you will forget what they've just witnessed. So you're just standing there, frozen, hoping that if you don't move, no one will notice. So what's the moral of these stories? Well, let's take a moment to stroll down memory lane. Remember when we were confidently strutting around and suddenly forgot the basics of walking? Or that time we tried to quench our thirst, only to realize our aim was as off as a broken compass? And who could forget our epic encounter with the door when we were just trying to flash a friendly smile? Oh, and the chair. That sneaky chair that moved just a tad to the right when we decided to sit. These tales of everyday mishaps all boil down to one thing. Sometimes our brains take a little vacation, leaving us to navigate the world as if we're playing a video game with lagging controls. And in these moments, it's like our brains go AFK, away from keyboard, at the most inconvenient times. But hey, it's not the end of the world. It's just a reminder to laugh at ourselves and to remember that we're all human. So the next time your brain decides to take an unexpected coffee break, don't fret. Just laugh it off and keep going. Remember, it's not you, it's just your brain taking an unexpected coffee break.